Well, thank you so much, Mom, for being willing to do this interview. I thought it was a good way to, talk about your past because we don't really talk about that, and then to share your story with future generations.
That was my pleasure.
So, as you know, I'm turning the big 3-0 this year, 30 years old. I have a lot of thoughts about that, just like what that means. And I'm just curious, do you have, or what's something that you wish you knew when you were 30, when you turned 30?
I wish I knew that situations change, that as they say, this too shall pass, and not to have been stuck in certain situations which prolonged, would prolonged the pain actually. So just to know that situations do change.
Yeah, that's kind of in line with what I'm doing right now. I'm learning meditation, which is about that idea of impermanence. That when you take on an emotion like sadness, fear, anger, you accept it because you know it will pass, and so that makes it more. It makes it easier to accept.
That's good. That's
Awesome.
good. I like that.
So, in line with that, with the pain and suffering, like what do you think was one of your biggest challenges growing up, and what did you learn from it? I would say.
The biggest challenge was, first of all, learning that my stepfather, who was very abusive to me, my brothers, and my mother, um, that he really wasn't my father. And this was at 16. One of my cousins tells me, "That's not your father." And I'm like, "Really?" At 16. So I met my real father at 16. And um, so you can imagine the turmoil that I went through at that age, and it seems like from then on I was like trying to find that perfect father. I hated my real father for not being there, and then hated my stepfather for the abuse. So it's like I was searching for that father figure in the guys that I would see and date. So and eventually marry. Um, so I just wish that um, back then that I knew first of all what I was going through, um, um, and that the abuse, just to know to come out of the abuse, um, was the hardest. Was the hardest part to knowing that you were being abused, and just to cut off that generational curse um, is what I had to do. So it wasn't until I saw that my daughter Angel was on the brink of going through that generational curse that I said, "Hey, no, the buck stops right here."
Mm-hmm.
So I had to go to a domestic violence shelter, and there we got counseling and therapy to help both of us, and they just showed me that I didn't have to depend on a man, which I was at that time. I was depending on a man to take care of me. And they just helped me to build confidence within myself to know that, hey, I can do this. I don't need a man to take care of me. So they like pushed me out there in the world where they helped me with my first interview. And the first interview, I ended up with the career that I have now, and I doubled my salary within 3 years, and so it's like I've grown, through that dark time came, this rainbow that I have right now. It's the storm is past, and I've learned to, you know, that I can do this on my own, and then after that is when it's like I was blessed with this wonderful man now, and the only thing that I hate now is that I can't have a child for him. He doesn't have any children. He would be a wonderful father, but we're looking to do surrogate program where he can have a child, and he's a great man, and he loves you. He loves you. He loves Angel, and he just wants he wants a child. So hopefully,
Yeah.
we'll be able to do that.
Okay. And it's great to see that transformation because I was worried for you. Like when I thought, when I moved to LA, then to New York, and then I knew Angel was going to college. It was like, are you gonna be okay by yourself? And we talked about like, is she gonna be okay? But I have seen this transformation where you're a lot more joyful. Like I see on Facebook, like you're having a good time. I'm like, dang, I'm in New York living life. I look at you. I'm like, she's outdoing me. I remember when you came to New York, you guys were out till like 5 in the morning. I'm like, dang, I need to be doing that too. So yeah, so it's really great to see that, like to see that transformation. So yeah, that's inspiring to me because I'm going through some things myself, but I'm learning that I'm learning from those experiences and that these tough times will pass. Yeah,
Yes,
so
that's great.
we're transitioning to the happier moments. So what do you think was one of the happiest moments of your life? It doesn't have to be one single one. I'm sure there are tons, but just share, one of the ones that comes to mind.
I think the where it's began was at your graduation.
Which
Went
graduation?
to UT. You graduated from UT Austin, and um, just preparing for the graduation, and then going to the graduation and having this first class seating area that I didn't even know I had, and people were asking me, "How did you get that seat? How did you?" And I'm like, "Well, my son." But just to find out that I had that seating because you were graduating at the top of your class and you were being recognized, and here you are, bam, on the big screen, and I'm like, is that my son? Everybody's like, that's Dallas. That's my son. So it was such a great, surprise to know that you were being featured. Not only graduating at the top of your class, but being featured. It was mind blowing. It was wonderful, and I think that was like the beginning of coming to the other side. Because before then, I'm working, I'm sacrificing, I'm struggling, and trying to get you through school, and trying to help my daughter being a single parent, and so that was like the beginning of the other side.
Yeah, I remember that. I remember when I first found out. I wanted to tell you. I'm like, no, I think it would be better for it to be a surprise.
Wonderful surprise.
Yeah, I wanted to tell you, so I was like, no, let me wait. I don't know if you remember, like I had a big smile on my
Yes.
face when we started. I was like, all right, here we go. And I remember the cameraman came right up to me and were like, Dallas, you stand up. Okay, I was like, okay. And then I thought about you. I thought about you when that happened. Yeah, so yeah, that was fun.
That was great.
A lot of fun. So Angel is now at University of Texas also. I'm really proud of her. So hopefully she has a similar trajectory, or she goes above and beyond what I did even. What's one wish you have for me and Angel?
That you too would learn that bad times happen, only to make us stronger, and that you can go through that and come out greater on the other side, only makes you stronger, and that we go through things in order to not only to build that strength within ourselves, but to help other people, because who better to help someone else going through something but someone that has been through it themselves. I've helped so many women going through domestic violence, and I helped them just as I was being helped. So it's just to pay it forward, to know that not only is there a superhero in everyone, but that you have little eyes that are looking on you, looking up to you, and to let them know how it's done, and to be able to help them and to pass that knowledge on to others.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's definitely something I'm conscious of as a teacher, because I have, these teenagers who I work with day in, day out, and I want to, be a positive role model constantly for them.
That's great.
Yeah. So one last question, you kind of touched on it already, but what's one life lesson you want to share with future generations? Maybe you want to just expound on what you just talked about, just about, that everything's temporary, but what's that one last thing you want to tell everyone?
I would like them to know that, first of all, me and my husband, we dress up as Superman and Wonder Woman, and it's so amazing the response that we're getting from everyone. It's like they want to take pictures with us, and they want to take pictures with us, and they want to emulate us, and just to know that there's a superhero in all of you, in all of us. There's that greatness that's just built there, and it's just waiting to grow. It's waiting to flourish. So just know that you are here. You're meant to do something. You're meant to be somebody. And sometimes we have to go through adversities to get to that point. But as I said again, it's only to make you stronger and to help others along the way. And that it's not about you. A lot of people think it's about them. I hear all these rap songs and it's me, I. It's very discouraging. It's not about you. It's not about what you have, all these things that you can accumulate, but about how you can help someone else. We're here to help each other. So if we could only know that we do have a superhero in all of us, and we are meant to help others along the way.
And I think the motto of my favorite superhero, Spider-Man, goes right along with that. With great power comes great responsibility. So
There
that's
you go.
definitely, I think that's the
That's
point of
good.
life, to share the wealth, for sure.
That's good.
Well, thank you
That's
so
good.
much for doing
Well,
this,
thank
Mom. I really
you.
appreciate it. I learned a little about yourself, and I myself was inspired. I'm sure the viewers will be too. So thank
I
you so
hope
much.
Thank you, son. Thank you.
Alrighty.